Forensic investigator Paul O'Sullivan will this week testify before Parliament's ad hoc committee. The body is also investigating claims of criminal infiltration in the police. O'Sullivan previously raised security concerns and asked to testify virtually, but he will now do so in person. O'Sullivan was expected to appear before the committee last week, but did not testify, citing serious security concerns. The ad hoc committee, which is probing allegations of criminality, political interference and corruption in the justice system, has since stepped up calls for him to appear. In January, O'Sullivan telling that committee that he would not appear in person, saying comments made by KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi had placed his life at risk. Now, during his appearance before the committee, Mkhwanazi alleged that O'Sullivan had links to former Independent Police Investigative Directorate head Robert McBride and claimed that some IPID operations were planned. He also accused O'Sullivan of having excessive influence in the criminal justice system. All right, let's stay now with the ad hoc committee, and joining us from that particular committee is MK Party's Sibonelo Nomvalo, who is also part of this. Let's talk to you, Mr. Nomvalo. Good evening to you. Thank you for your time. Let's first get your reaction to Mr. O'Sullivan finally presenting himself in person to Parliament. Do you think that this was some kind of a play on his part to try and make it difficult for you to try and have him testify?
Good evening, Xoli, and good evening to the viewers of Newzroom Afrika. Yeah, like we've been saying that we believe that this is a play because one, this claim by him that he has some security concerns was not backed up by anything tangible. It was not backed up by a report from the police because South Africa is a country with laws. It's not a country. It's not a banana republic. So you don't just wake up in the morning and claim to have security threats when there's actually nothing from the police corroborating that claim. So to date, we have not been tendered with any report from the police which shows that there are security threats against Paul O'Sullivan. So we are happy that a conscience has prevailed in him, and ultimately he has agreed to come before the ad hoc committee. But he was left with no option because had he taken a final position of refusal, we were going to take this matter further as the MK party. We're even ready. We had already spoken to our legal team. We're going to take the matter to court because the principle here of equality must prevail. No one is above the law. The principle of law, the principle that everyone is equal before the law, must reign supreme. So we're very happy that he will come tomorrow, and we're not going to mince our word. We're not going to miss an opportunity of probing him because there are many allegations to which he must respond.
Yeah, we're going to talk about those in a moment. I want to also bring in the speaker here. Do you believe that she was overly cautious by disallowing you, the committee, to subpoena Paul O'Sullivan when he initially refused?
No, the speaker was not assisting the committee at all. He was not assisting Parliament, and he was not assisting South Africans because in terms of Section 56 of the South African Constitution, Parliament has powers to summon any person who is relevant at that time to come and give any information before Parliament. So the speaker was overlooking that constitutional provision. And two, for her to say there are issues that we did not consider last year when we were dealing with this issue was undesirable and untrue because the committee said last year, towards the end of last year, when this issue was presented before the committee, that Paul O'Sullivan says he won't come. We did speak about it at length, and we said this is nonsense. We're not going to accept this. No one must receive a special treatment. Paul O'Sullivan must come before the ad hoc committee. So what the speaker was trying to do was really undesirable, and was nothing but a sellout position, because here we must be loyal to the constitution of the country, and we must serve the best interest of South Africans.
Now, you are saying that there are a number of issues that Paul O'Sullivan has got to respond to, and we did hear some of those ventilated when Robert McBride was before the committee and faced you and your fellow committee members. But he does hold the view, at least from the initial responses, that he would not come. I'm talking Paul O'Sullivan now, that he does not hold much respect for parties such as the MK, to which you belong, the EFF. He doesn't appear to pay much respect to what you possibly have to say or put to him. Do you believe that he will be receptive to your questions?
No, look, Xoli, that is nonsense. When you say you don't respect the MK party, you don't hold respect for the EFF, you mean you don't respect the people that those parties are representing in Parliament, because Parliament is a public institution with representatives who have been elected by the people on the ground. When we're there in Parliament, we're not representing our jackets, but we represent the aspirations of the people. So I think what he should have said, honestly, from an honest point of view, is that he does not have respect for the constitution of this country, but two, he does not have respect for the people of this country, because he's a spoiled brat. He has been mingling with many people in the higher echelons of our institutions. And that is why he behaves this way. There's an allegation that he was doing as he pleases at IPIT, and the allegation is that he was getting powers to do so from people who hold higher authorities. So tomorrow he will have no option but to respect all these parties that he says he doesn't respect, because unlike in a visual platform, there in Parliament, we have control of all the processes, and we're not going to allow any member of the public, even if he has proximity to the so-called leadership in this country, to undermine any member of Parliament, because that is going to set a wrong precedent. So I can assure you, Xoli, that Paul O'Sullivan is going to cooperate tomorrow, because him cooperating is not an option. He must do so. He has no option but to cooperate, and he will.
Well, that'll be interesting to watch, because if I recall correctly, the understanding is that he allegedly used the words in reference to certain committee members that they were criminals, and said, as I've mentioned earlier, that he would not recognize members from the MK party, EFF, or Action SA. What do you believe is the most pressing question, at least from the benches of the MK party, that he has to respond to?
You know, Xoli, what I can tell you is that, notwithstanding all the allegations that were raised by Nkabinde and other members who appeared before the ad hoc committee against Paul O'Sullivan, there are other serious allegations which have been raised by other members of the public, but we are not going to share them here now. We're going to raise them with him. Some include him engaging members of some families, promising to do some investigations for them, taking monies from them, and so on and so forth. But we'll get into the nitty-gritties of all those issues when he appears before the ad hoc committee. But we all know that the person who spoke at length about Paul O'Sullivan is Nkabinde, who gave us details of how they plotted against Phahlane, of how they used the resources of IPID to destroy some individuals within SAPS. So he must respond to all those issues. Ngabinde even said at some point they went to they worked with some journalists and they went to do some raids in Pahlane's complex. And when they got there, Paul O'Sullivan pretended to be a member who works for IPID. So all those issues are issues that we will require him to respond to, because remember, Paul O'Sullivan was making the loudest noise about many people in South Africa, alleging them to be corrupt. And we're asking ourselves that why now, when he's given an opportunity to come and expose those people in a formal platform in Parliament, because Parliament is a constitutional institution, why is he refusing? Why is he running away? Why is he saying he's now in London? And we don't even believe that now he was really in London, but he will tell us tomorrow if really he was in London.
All right, Sibonelo Nomvalo, thank you very much indeed for your time. He is a member of the ad hoc committee that is probing the alleged infiltration of South Africa's criminal justice system. You've heard him, and they are not going to be pulling back, and they are ready to question Paul O'Sullivan.